back at it again, fresh off the track. We're gonna do some more mods here to the FL5. We got Lewis right here getting everything ready. We were pretty happy with the performance that the Type R did over at Streets of Willow. We can't wait for the next track day. We hope we dialed in the suspension. We felt really good. Lewis took it out. We think we still could have gotten a lot more out of that track day. The car has plenty of time to shave, if you want to call that. We have a couple guys that have FL5s out there, and they've actually been pushing, what, 122 out of it, 123? So we know we're running slow. We got a lot of goodies on the car. We still need to dial all these things in, and hopefully we can get into those levels. All right, like I said, boys, we got our hands on a fresh set of Hasport motor mounts for the FL5. If you haven't seen this, it's because literally nobody has these. These have not gone out yet. I know that Hasport has talked about it. We put in an order back in December, and we had these special made. They plugged us up with a black Cerakote, which you see here. I'm not sure if they're gonna offer this out to everyone, but we are super appreciative. Shout out Hasport for hooking us up. As you can see, this is the 62A compound, which is the street track use. I did not want to go with a full track type of mount. These are going to be just fine. We had these on the FL5. I'm sorry, we had these on the FK8, and they did wonders when we were out on the track. Super jazzed to get these on. And Lewis and I are going to actually get to installing these pretty soon. All right, y'all. I'm going to get Lewis here to talk to us about what we're going to do today.
All right, so we have the Hasport motor mounts that we just showed earlier. Biggest thing is we're going to do is support the engine upward, so we're going to do that from the bottom. And then we'll remove this upper 3 19s up here, remove these 14s that are up here, and then we'll remove these lower 17s that are all the way in here. You could kind of hide it behind the walls, but here's one and the other one behind here. And then we'll move over to the transmission side. I am going to take the intake off now just so we don't have to do it later. We also have to do the lower one. That one's gonna be a little bit more difficult. We're not trying to ruin the paint on this. On other generations, you do have to tap it in with the mallet. But what I'm gonna try to do is take this off first, lift up the motor, and we will be able to slide in the whole mount and then lower the motor onto it. And then we'll tighten the lower one, and then we'll move back up to this upper one. Just to kind of save the paint. We obviously paid extra to get it done. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna start taking the intake off with the 5.5 mil. So this is like the easiest way to do this. A lot of people use the screwdriver. It ruins the, honestly, it ruins the clamp and the bolt right there, so we don't use that. So we use this 5.5 mil. It is a little bit of a weird size to get. We did have to special order this from our tool supplier.
Yeah, so he's just gonna remove this. We've done this quite a few times in that prior video. You guys saw us removing this. And for those of you that are interested in that 5 mil,
5.5.
well, actually 5.5 mil, we're gonna go ahead and search for you guys like on Amazon or somewhere like that, and we'll put it in the description. Otherwise, feel free to use this screwdriver. And this segment is not sponsored by Ghost because they're not paying us for this, but thanks. Shout out to D Will for getting me hooked on these things.
All right, so we removed the service shield down here. It's a couple Phillips bolts, 2 up here, 2 back here, and then the rest are flathead bolts. We're gonna start off removing this 19 right here. And basically you're gonna pull, if you're under the car, obviously we're trying to show you how you guys would do it. You would pull it this way towards you, to the front of the car. And that would basically loosen up this bolt here. Basically it should be loosening, should just loosen it enough so you can just take it off with your fingers. After that, we're gonna use a 17 bolt back here, a socket, remove this bolt, and then this whole thing we'll be able to pry it forward and remove the entire thing. We finished removing this bolt right here. I did grab the pry bar, I put it inside of it and then brought it down, so now you're going to be able to remove this bolt here. So now, and here it comes. This is your stock one.
Ugly.
That's how we do our OEM one.
Yeah, make sure this ring's on there. Lewis is gonna show you guys. If you don't put that ring on, you're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, and then obviously we'll compare this one to the stock OEM one. Get some good pics of that.
You could tell, solid bushing here, solid back here, versus soft way softer in here.
Make sure this upper ring you get goes upwards. The way you know is that the Hasport logo will be obviously readable.
Just a little note. Again, some people just are perfectly fine with changing this rear mount, which I had done on the FK8 prior, and it was really good. You can really tell the difference. Pretty much the best thing that I could say helped is when you're shifting under high RPMs and you downshift, the engine will rock less. And this mount, since it is softer, it allows a little bit of movement in the engine versus this one that's going to make it nice and stiff, and it's just going to just give you that better feel when you're especially out on track, but even regular driving. I mean, I felt a big difference. And bear in mind, putting this one in minus you dropping the subframe, it's gonna get scratched no matter what.
Nope, no scuffs.
And this is a kind of like a product like the spoon stiff plate. Although beautiful, you're never ever gonna see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stiff plate on the FK8, super nice piece. Whenever Spoon decides to release their stiff plate to the US, we'll replace it. It's gonna go right in this area. Yeah, we'll never see it. We'll just know it's on there.
We are good. You're not gonna have to do any extra work. If you're only doing this one, we were able to save the paint. We were able to get the bolts in. As you guys can see, no scuffs. Now the next thing we're gonna do is tighten up this bolt, tighten up the rear bolt that's back there, and there you have it. You have a nice Cerakoted black lower motor mount.
Hey guys, just to let you know, if that's all you tuned in for, thanks again for following us here. You know, we're always trying to do our best to document what we're doing to the FL5, and not to mention helping out whoever has questions. But for the rest of you that are watching the rest of the video, boys, we're gonna move into the engine side mount. Like Lewis said earlier, we're gonna remove these two orange ones here. These hold this bracket down. We're also gonna remove the two that are down here. There's one there, there's another one right there with the orange top. We're also gonna release these 3 bolts. And once we get this off, prior to doing that, we're gonna put a jack stand with a piece of wood underneath the transmission. And that's so it can hold the engine up. It's just so the pressure is distributed evenly across the wood, not just on this piece. It could possibly end up putting a dent in your oil pan or crack it, and that's the last thing you need. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna get on it. I will show you guys where we're at in the process. On another note, on a more somber note, guys, I don't think we've addressed it here on the channel. We lost one of our boys recently.
Oh yeah.
We lost our homie Dabster. You don't know who he is. His name was Thomas. He unfortunately passed away recently, and yeah, if you guys don't know who he is, look him up, Dabster Speed. He had the blue, Boost Blue.
Actually, one of the first ones in California, right?
Yeah, one of the first Boost Blue FK8s on white ZE40s. And yeah, he was just a really cool dude. We have his sticker here in the shop, so we're paying homage to our boy Dabster. Super legit guy, always was there to help somebody out with what he could, and if you wanted to roll to a meet, homeboy would be down. Didn't care.
He'd be there first.
Yeah, he didn't care if it was raining or not. He was the first guy in line. But yeah, shout out to you, homie. Shout out to you. Little preview as well, guys. Stay tuned. We really wanted to get our anti-gravity battery installed, which we have right there in that other box. Yeah, but the tray did not make it in time, so that's gonna be another install. Tune in for that. But I can't wait. We did get the Melee designed box that we're gonna install into the stock tray. We are gonna get rid of this lunky ass battery, and we're gonna get a nice lighter battery, and we'll give you specs on that when we shoot that video. But back to our regularly scheduled program. Again, right tools makes your life a hell of a lot easier.
You're gonna go home with back problems.
That's if you're the trusty free labor assistant. Shout out to Morris, who's living the good life.
Just got back from Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, Cancun.
You went to Costa Rica.
I went to Costa Rica. Yeah, anywho.
I want to go to Costa Rica.
I know, I'm waiting for you to go on vacation. All right, he's gone ahead and loosened up the bolts that hold the actual engine to the motor mount, and now we're gonna get rid of, what are these, 17s?
Yeah, but I don't know how close that is.
Yeesh.
Try my best not to scratch anything.
You saw that right now. The engine shifted a little bit. All right, we've switched over to another camera. Again, tap in the comments, let us know if you tell a difference or not. All right, mount's coming out. Look at this.
Behemoth of.
Yeah, for real.
How much do you think it weighs? Maybe like 8 pounds, probably. Maybe 10. Nah, maybe like 8.
Woo, look at that. Okay, we're just gonna repeat the process of putting everything back the way it came out, basically. Okay, Lewis is just putting on the stock bolts. Don't forget to put this on. This is gonna be for your ground.
Moments later.
We've already removed the battery and the tray, and Lewis is in the process of removing the bolts. This one is a little bit different because you have a lot more items in the way here in the transmission side. You have the harness, you got the battery tray. It takes a couple more beats to get rid of everything. And as you can see here, he's removing these, what are those? 12s? These 12s. Once he removes that, he'll free up a little bit more room. And again, these are just items that are holding the tray to the battery. We're not even into the mount yet. So as you see, these 3 pieces here all hold up this heavy, heavy battery. This thing's about 30 pounds or so. It's crazy heavy. And we were doing a quick little comparison. This will be in the next video again. Shout out to Anti-Gravity. This thing, literally, you can pick it up with your hands. Look at this. Try doing that one. This one's heavy. This one's low-key like 30 freaking pounds. Can't even lift that. Stay tuned. Make sure, I'm gonna shoot it out there when we're ready to post this one. Subscribe, hit the bell button. That way, again, you know when these new videos come up and you don't miss out. Okay, what are you doing here? You're removing this, huh?
Well, I gotta take it out to remove the mount.
Just go slow, take your time. Cause see those teeth in there? You don't wanna bend any of it or mess up any of these little wires here. You don't wanna do none of that. Okay. Like I said, 90% of the transmission side install is mainly taking off all these brackets and all this just to get to the actual transmission mount. I would have to say this is the most painful, annoying part of the whole install, because as you could tell, all these brackets and all these lines block the motor mount screw. See, here's one that you would never get to. Here's another one. There's another one right there where Lewis is about to remove this harness piece, and it just makes it so uncomfortable to get in there. So now, same method, he's gonna put the jack underneath the transmission side to kind of lift this thing up. And again, when we remove it, there's something holding it. In theory, it could, huh? it could support itself with the other two?
I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. As you can see, the engine starts to move little by little once these bolts start being removed, which again was a lot more noticeable when the stock mounts were on. Now that we have two out of the three mounts on, the engine didn't really move too much. Okay, we're gonna do a nice little comparison again. Hasport, stock. See here, this design here allows the engine to move side to side a little bit, huh? That kind of cradle itself in here. And this isn't gonna go anywhere.
This is where the bushing would be in the middle.
Yeah, you see that? So this allows, again, when you're accelerating or downshifting more than anything, to let the engine kind of move a little bit. And this is where I tell you that when you put these mounts on, you're going to feel the engine a lot more solid, a lot more planted. Yeah, it improves grip on the car. But now this mount goes in, it's a lot cleaner. It's probably even a lot lighter than the stock setup. All right, mount's going in. Remember, keep everything loose. And that's just so you could manipulate it and get it in. If you tighten up the main mount here to the bracket, it's gonna make it hard for you. Again, don't forget your ground little washer. Don't forget to put the right hardware where it belongs, because you do not want to cross thread anything. And like Lewis was saying, you want to be careful when you're threading everything, because the last thing you need to do is strip something, and then you're going to be in a little bit of some hurt trying to get all this to work for you.
It's not fun.
Well, the worst part is when somebody brings it from somewhere else. Wow. Woo! See that movement there, fellas? So he lowers it now to position it. And then now he's gonna try and adjust it, make sure everything fits properly, and then we'll lower it as we need it to get it all aligned. Yeah, fun fact, boys. Lewis, anytime I wanna install something to the car, he like starts to explain to me what I gotta do, and then he just goes, you know what, just move out of the way. Let me just do it real quick. Because I think it gives him like anxiety or some type of ansia that like I'm doing it, and he knows how to get in and out real quick, and he's watching me go like at a snail pace, and he's like, all right, just move, let me finish this. When we were doing the rear suspension on the car, I was doing it, and then eventually he's like, all right, just move here, let me just finish it.
I'm a good example of that.
Yeah, he just kind of like, he easily, like, it's like he starts watching you, and then he starts getting closer and closer, and then he's like, all right, here, let me grab this real quick, and next thing you know, he's like, I got it, just move. Just slides right in. It's not that it's hard, it's just that, you know, they kind of know what they're doing. They're in and out. Alright boys, we pretty much got everything wrapped up here as far as motor mount wise. Like I said, this part, the thing that takes the longest is putting back the harness and the tray and the ECU and everything. Yeah, it's just getting in. We went ahead and got everything tightened up super quick. Now he's just gonna torque the mount to spec.
Alright, so after like 2.5 hours.
Ever.
We finished the driver's side, the lower motor mount, and the transmission side. This one's the one you're pretty much never gonna see.
But it does take the longest.
This is the longest. We were able, in the time we did both the driver and the lower one, basically we only did one on this side, so.
yeah, guys, pretty clean install. They look great. Again, shout out to Hasport for making these for us. Really, really like the color. Really like the way they're looking. Super quality piece to the car. And honestly, I think it really, really makes the engine bay just look really nice. I mean, I think the goal that I wanted for this was to make everything black and just kind of display the valve cover, which Micah's not a fan of the yellow.
No, I like it. I was just surprised that you guys put it on so soon.
Oh, yeah. As you can see, we've wasted no time in doing stuff to this car. No time. But I think that's the fun of it. Let's hope we don't get bored of it and get something else.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, Lewis wants it. But yeah. All right, guys. That's gonna do it for this video. We really appreciate you guys for sticking by, watching, all the support. Shout out to everybody that's helped us out with the build. Again, thanks to Lewis for constantly helping us out. We got our boy Micah here in the shop. And like I said it earlier, if you have not subscribed yet, you know who you are. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button. That way you're up to speed. And if you have not watched what we've done to this FL5, go ahead, click the other videos, get caught up. We'll see you guys on the next one.